Hi, my name is Mark Chansky. I'm the coordinator of the Reformed Baptist Network, and it's my privilege to be able to be in Coconut Creek, Florida, at Emmanuel Baptist Church. And Nick Kennicott, just in the past year, you've come down to Emmanuel from up near Savannah, Rincon, Georgia. And you're down here as a pastor. You're laboring alongside Jeff Smith, Bob Dekema, Paul Faris. And you're also studying, well, you're pursuing your PhD in humanities.
Right.
And you're working on critical theory and postmodernism.
Right.
That's a mouthful. Could you share with us, what are you working on, Nick? And how is it going to be useful for the Church of Christ?
Yeah, good. The basic idea is that I'm looking at the intersection between the philosophy of critical theory and the philosophy of postmodernism, and how they have intersected in modern Western civilization. And my argument is that it is sort of the handmaiden for Marxist ideology that has entered into Western civilization. And so as it relates to the church, understanding first and foremost what those philosophies are, and how they influence every sector of society. And so the church is certainly a part of that, and how we think and how we speak about issues, how we go about communicating on these issues in the public square. And so I think the church has a responsibility and an obligation to help preserve the most important elements of Western society. And if we're not at the forefront of doing that, then it's going to be taken over by someone else. And I think the church in the West will lose ground. And so,
give me one text of Scripture that you would apply that would be really helpful in gripping us regarding the significance of this kind of a theme.
Well, I think you can think of Acts 17 with Paul and the Areopagus and how he interacts with the philosophers of the day and how he's talking to them. And he's, I think something like this is important to understand because we don't want to go into those conversations blind, unknowing, but rather that we have an understanding of what they're believing and what they're thinking, and understanding how they're using language. And especially when you deal with critical theory and postmodernism, they may use the same words, but they're operating from a different dictionary. So if we don't know what that is, then we can't even begin the conversation in the public square like someone like Paul did as he was refuting the sophists and the philosophers of his day.
We're going to be conformed to the pattern of the world instead of transformed by the renewing of our minds, and that's what you're working on.
Exactly.
Okay, we look forward to your book, God willing, coming out, to your PhD endeavors. And we appreciate, too, just the impact. We think of, the next video we'll talk a little bit about RBS Seminary, and stay tuned for that one.
All right.